everyone. This is the first movie for Word Chapter 1, Pause and Practice number 3. If you have your textbook, it is on page W1-38. And I already have my document that we completed at the end of Pause and Practice 2 up. It's the letter. Remember the last things we did were to modify this text at the bottom. So now we're on Pause and Practice number 3, and you want to make sure, now my name is not exactly correct because you would have your initials, so mine would be HJM, PP for Pause and Practice, W for Word, 1 for Chapter 1, -3, this is the third Pause and Practice of the chapter. So we're on step number 3 on page 38 of your textbook, and once again we're going back to that key combination that selects all, Control A, that selects the entire document. And what we're going to do here is we're going to work on changing the line and paragraph spacing for the entire document. So, before we change it, let's just look at what it is. So I'm going to come up here to this paragraph group, and right here is the button that gives you line and paragraph spacing. So that could be one place you can look at it. The other place would be in your dialog box. And so right now we can see we have a line spacing that's at 1.08 spaces, and we're saying after every paragraph we're going to put 8 points of white space. Before a paragraph we're putting 0, okay? And so if I were to turn on my hide show, you can see here this is what defines a paragraph in Word, is this when I hit the enter key, right? That causes a paragraph mark to be placed. So at the end of this paragraph, and we go to the next paragraph, but notice there's no other keys between there, there's no other codes. And that's because it's the end of a paragraph, so I put 8 points of white space. It's a way to spread out your paragraphs, particularly if you're not indenting them, okay? So the reader knows there's a new paragraph. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to, we want to go to that paragraph launcher, and we are going to do the indents and spacing, and we want to change this to single space, right? So we go to the line spacing and change it to single. And then we're going to increase the white space after a paragraph. So I'm going to pop this up to 12 points. And down here my picture is adjusting to show you. We're going to go ahead and do OK, and you're going to watch. Now my paragraphs have less space between each line, but there's more white space between the paragraphs, okay? All right, so the next thing, we're on step 4, add a paragraph spacing before the date line of the business letter. So here's the date. So what we want to do is we want to bring this letter down, right? Because we might be printing it on a letterhead, a pre-printed document, and so we want to make room for it. Additionally, there's some extra white space here. So I'm going to do not do this. Okay, do not hit enter, 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 enter. Okay, that's not the proper way to do it. What we want to do is we want to say, hey, let's put some white space above this paragraph. And because I don't have the Control A, I'm not doing this to the entire document, I'm just in this first line, which is talking about this first paragraph, because here's the paragraph mark, right? So I want to go back to that. I'm sorry, they want to show the different ways. So that same spacing before and after can be found on the Layout tab. You see there's that 12 we just changed it to, but I want to make this 70. Sorry, that's after. I'm on the wrong one. We want to do before. It's 0. So we want to make that 72. Watch what happens when I do that. It's bringing that text down, but I'm not putting any paragraph marks or anything. It's just saying, hey, put 72 points. Remember, 72 points is 1 inch. So that's saying, hey, put 1 inch of white space above this line between the right here. If you look at the ruler, this is the margin, and then it's going to go down 1 inch, and then it's going to put the date line. Okay. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is in this subject line, right? And notice when I'm dealing with this stuff, when I'm dealing with paragraph changes, let me go back home again. Paragraph changes, I only have to be in the paragraph. Remember when we were dealing with fonts, you have to select, you have to say, hey, what are we changing this? But when we're dealing with changes to paragraphs, it changes that entire paragraph. Now, if we wanted multiple paragraphs, of course, we'd have to select multiple. But right now, we're only dealing with this subject. I'm going to turn my reveal codes off. My subject line. So, all I need to do in my paragraph group is say, hey, I want to center that paragraph. Click on the center button. I could also do a Control E, not C, E, for centering. Because remember, Control C is copy. So it centers that subject line. So that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick save on that so I don't mess up. And then the step 6. I am going to use the thesaurus to find synonyms for selected words. So I have to select the words first. So in the third paragraph, I want to find the word reveal. And remember, double clicking selects a single word. So we're going to select that. We want to go to the Review tab on the ribbon because that's where our proofing is, grammar, spell checking, and thesaurus. So thesaurus is going to show us different words, right, that could be used in place of this. And it also could show you, the opposites. So we want to find divulge, okay? Don't click on divulge. Don't click on divulge. Click on the down arrow to the right of it, okay? And we want to insert it. Let me show you what happens when you click on divulge. It goes to the thesaurus or other words that mean divulge, right? So you can kind of navigate down and find some other words. If you want to use the word, though, you highlight it, arrow, insert. Now my reveal says divulge. Okay, that's good. We're going to close that thesaurus up. We're done with that. So find the word residence in the first paragraph right here. So third line. I'm going to right click on that and I want to use the synonym. And this is another way to find words of similar meaning. So we're going to do synonym, and we're going to say instead of residence, let's call it home. It has a better, I don't know, feeling. Residence sounds kind of cold. All right, so we've changed that. All I did was right click, pick home, and it changed it up. All right, so the next thing we want to do is we want to learn how to add words to a custom dictionary. For example, my last name is Mandolinage. Every time I would use my name, it would come up misspelled because Mandolinage is not in the average dictionary. Just like, if you have legal terms, technical terms, industry-specific terms, medical terms, those things, street names, things that you use a lot, you can add those to your dictionary. So you don't have to keep saying that's okay when it comes up misspelled. So to do that, we're going to come up here to File and Options. We want to find Proofing because that's what we're doing, right? We're proofing things. That's probably where our dictionary is. Custom Dictionary, right? So in this one, this is where it might be a little bit different for you. So you could do this Custom Dictionary, or you could do the Roaming if you're here at the school. I'm going to use this default. And then if you don't have that one, it's fine. You can just do your custom. It's fine. We're going to edit the word list. And we're going to type in your last name. So I'm going to type in my last name. and then add. Well, I would venture to guess that my name is already there. Yeah. So I'm gonna do another. Right. So that's my another name. So there's Rabovich. I'm gonna click on that. Oh my gosh. Really? Okay. There we go. Click on add. Okay. So, all right, so we're going to do okay, and now your name will not be marked as misspelled. So we're going to do okay, okay, okay. We're back to our document. Okay. So I'm going to move to the top of the document, and then I'm going to do a spell checking. So we're going to do it word by word, I guess. Let's see. Right click on the word whole house in the second paragraph. So it's already marked red. So you want to take care of all these things that have red or blues. So we're going to do, and we're going to, it's really 2 words. So we're going to select that. It changes it. Let's go find truss. It's really supposed to be truss. So select truss, right? Granite is misspelled. I'm going to right click granite, and then Cavelli, which mine's already there. You can and then ignore your initials. So, oh, I'm over my time. So we have one more thing that I want to do. I'm going to skip the smart lookup, but I'm going to go to step 10, the file document properties. So we're going to do file. Here's our properties, guys, and there's a link down here, show all properties, that can open it up for you. So in the title field, we want to type disclosure statement. In the author area, we want to remove this, so I am going to right click on them and remove this person. And then in the author area, I want you to add Emma Cavelli, tab. So her name is there. And then under company, so that's back up here, we're going to put Placer Hills Real Estate, and then let's do advanced. So I went up here to properties, I clicked on the down arrow, advanced properties, and it's a nice way to validate. So we've got disclosure statement, Emma, Placer Hills. Okay. While we're here, let's do a save. And I believe you are done with this. So save it. I am going to go over here to Word Chapter 1, Assignments. Click on this pause and practice. You can now submit this last file. So let me see where the heck I stored it. So I'm going to go out here and look at my desktop and pick it. So you just use the browse to browse and find it. You select it. It should show right here. If you scroll down, then you can submit. I'm not going to, but you can submit, and then your instructor will have it. Okay. All right, so that's it for Word Chapter 1, Pause and Practice. Good luck. Don't forget that the guided project there's a movie for that in this same area.